put that on. And obviously it goes without saying, you do what you can do. You all know your body's better than me. The dog had, because he's an opportunist, we went out to test him the other day because he's been obviously with us all the time, and we forgot to put the recycling in the bin. So we came home and Noodle had the recycling, and I keep finding bits of tinfoil that he's obviously had and hidden. So if you see me pick anything up, it's from his investigations, let's say. Right. Sure. Cameras are good. So if you can start, as always, we're going to do our lovely warm up. So start by marching on the floor for me. Increase that blood flow. Keep going, keep going. I thought I just saw some. No, you're all in. Got 16 of us today. That's a good class. Wow. Like it. So keep marching for me. Remember, nice relaxed arms. Nothing too strenuous. Keep it nice and loose. This is kind of your opportunity to warm up those legs, waking up that body, letting it know we're going to do some exercise. If you want to speed the march up, you can. If you need to bring the march down slower, then you can as well. So remember, it's all up to you. It is your routine. So, next thing, if you can do 2 things at once, this is your little challenge. If you can't, you're going to stop doing the legs and focus on the new move. So if you can, you're going to keep marching and we're going to roll those shoulders back. Like I said, if this is hard, you take those legs away so you can stop moving the legs and you just focus on the shoulders. All right, so I'm going to leave you to decide which version you're going to do. If rolling those shoulders is a struggle, remember you can shrug them up and down instead. All right, so again, you choose what's more comfortable for you. And then last one, going backwards, rotate those shoulders forwards for me. Nice big circles, warm them up. Perfect. And then everybody, we're going to stop the legs. We're going to have those hands up for me. Elbows high, we're going to take them back. So try and keep the elbows as high as you can. If you need to drop them to make it easier, then do. But to make it harder, you need to keep those elbows up. And again, last one, change direction. You're going to take those elbows forwards for me. Again, nice big circles, keeping those elbows up. And last one, let's take those arms forward for me. So nice big circles with the arms. Lovely. Again, if you're doing this with somebody else in the room, just be careful. Look around, make sure you're not going to hit anything. 1. And then change direction, take those arms back for me. So again, nice big arm circles. Keep that torso nice and loose as well, so allow it to move with the arms. Perfect. And then we're going to go into our heel digs. So heel dig at the front, the heel go down, the toes are pointing to the ceiling. We're going to bend that supporting leg so the knee stays nice and soft. Remember, you don't lock that knee. It's our suspension, we need to look after it. So we're going to allow it to soften. And to make sure if you want to have this harder, you really reach the leg forward to encourage the hips to push back. And then the knee can bend a little bit more. So that's going to start to fire up the hips. And it's going to start to fire up those thighs as well. Perfect. Keep it going. Right, now from here, we're going to change. We're going to keep doing heel digs. But we're going to do our patterns. We're going to go single, single, and then 2. So we've got single, single, then double. Perfect. Single, single, then 2. Single, single, and 2. One more. Single, single, and 2. Now, reversing the heel digs, we're going to take the leg back backwards. So we've just been doing a lot of it forward. This is the reverse. We're going to do our leg curls. The heel is going to try and get to that glute, all right? But again, you might be able to really kick it a little bit, and that's fine. You're going to build that muscle up. If you're on a chair, try and get a chair that you can kick underneath. If you can't kick underneath, you can just kick forward, all right? And you just have to do a leg curl but in reverse if you're sitting down. Keep going. Got my ankle bracelet stuck. Perfect. Again, let's bring in these arms. So we're going to do our bicep curl. So every time the leg comes up, the arms come up. And you really want to pin your elbows into the side of your body. Right, so no sort of duck flapping for me. Pin it in. Nice and tight. Lovely. There we go. We're not ducks. Lovely. All right, and again, from here, same pattern as we did before. So you're going to do single, single, then double. Single, single, and two. Lovely. Single, single, and two. Nice. Single, single, and two. Two more. Single, single, and two. Last one. Single, single, and two. Gorgeous. Just march it out in case you have a bit of, that one can get the hips a bit sore. All right, legs are going to stay still. Arms are going to come forward for me, and you're going to pull back. Reach, pull back. Reach, pull back. Awesome. So, technique here. We're not arching back. So if I turn, I'm not pushing my chest out. Keep that back nice and straight. I can't really show you really, because all you can see is just one big bump in the way. So pull back. Try and keep the elbows high if you can. So elbows are going to stay shoulder height for me. To make it easier, you can drop the elbows down. But if you really want to work those bingo wings and work those arms, get those shoulders up. As we've all said, the sun's out, spring's coming, bikini bodies are being made. If we could all go on holiday, that is. Lovely. Right, last one. Change direction. You're going to reach down, pull up. Reach down, pull up. Awesome. If you want to grab some weights to make this harder, then by all means do, but it's going to be harder. Nice. Again, stick those elbows out for me. Try and keep them at shoulder height if you can. Remember, you can have them nice and low if you need to. Last one going down. We're going to change again. This time you reach up above your head and you pull down. Up and pull. And this time the elbows do drop below shoulder height. That is fine. You really want to work on that tension of pulling it down. So think you're grabbing onto a bar, pulling that bar down. If we're in the gym, I'd be adding on weights for you. Nice. Lovely. Everyone's looking good. Remember to breathe. Don't overarch that back. Yes, nice. And last one. Awesome. Just shake up the wrists. Roll the shoulders if you need to. That's better. So from here we're going to go to our toe touches. So opposite hand, you're going to go down to the opposite toe. Remember, flexibility. You can either get to your toe, to your shin, or to your knee. Okay, so it depends on what you're comfortable with. And you're not going to hold for 2 seconds. I want these quick. So you're going to touch, change, change, change. Okay, so don't hold it. Just keep changing between each foot. Really encourage the back to stretch out. And also, when that leg is straight, if you can't feel that stretch in the hamstring, get their leg a little bit wider and you will feel it. Lovely. Like it. And then we're going to do 5 more. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Slowly come up through the spine for me. Make sure your head's the last thing, because you have just been upside down. Perfect. Everyone's all right. You might want to grab a chair here, because we're just going to, not for long, because we're going to do a longer routine with our hips. But just to wake them up, just do some circles for me. Again, do 4, and then change direction and do another 4. But again, nice and quick, because we're going to be doing more of this towards the end of the class. And then change legs for me. So circle one way. Again, only do 4. I don't want to burn the hips out too quick. Then change direction and do 4. Going the other way. Nice. And our last mini warm-up. We're going to do some side-to-side lunges. So get those legs wider than hips for me, and you're just going to lean side to side. So again, technique here. Your knee should be going over the toe. Okay, so no rolling those ankles. Don't do anything funky with the legs. Have a slight tilt forward in the torso. So if I turn to the side, I'm not upright. Have a slight tilt in my torso, so it's a counterbalance, so I can push the hips back when I'm doing my side-to-side lunges, and that's going to increase the flexibility and the sort of strength you're going to get from this exercise. Nice, there we go. Lovely. Again, if you can't feel that hamstring stretch, get those legs a little bit wider, and you will feel it, I promise. Awesome. Bring those legs together. Right. We're going to do our punches. So, get a comfortable stance for me. Guard comes up. Your guard is going to stay up. Okay, so if we're in the boxing ring, the moment you drop your guard, someone's going to get you. All right, so just be prepared for that. We're going to start by doing our hooks. So you're going to hook and then change. So you're hooking in front and change. Perfect. Keep going. Now we're shifting the weight from side to side as we're hooking. Okay, so you can stay static like this if you wish. So challenge yourself. Shift the weight from side to side. Lovely. There we go. Raw swaying. And remember that strength, the power in that hook comes from the shoulder, okay? It's not from the wrist, it's not in the fingers, it's coming from the back of the shoulder. Really put your weight into it, and you'll be able to give someone a right good hook if you ever need to, ladies. Don't go around just practicing. Oh my God. Nice. All right, change this now. We're going to jab forward. So punch it forward for me. Again, that weight is still shifting from side to side, and you're punching just above your eye line. Okay, so if you're, we're not punching kind of down here, we're not punching too high up. Wherever you're looking, just punch slightly above your eye line. So you are going to be at a slight diagonal, which is fine. And remember that power, again, comes from that shoulder. Really take your anger out of, I don't know, whatever's annoyed you today. Awesome. All right, bring the arms down again. Just shake it out for me. Roll those shoulders. We're going to do a little routine. Which one we're going to pick? We're going to do the hard one. So we're going to do, I think we have done this one before, but maybe only once. So you're going to do, keep your guard up. You're going to do your hook. Then you're going to do a knee, but you're going to lift the other leg. Okay, and it's a lift, not a kick. Okay, so a kick is that. That's not what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a lift. A lift is harder because you're going to need to squeeze that thigh, squeeze the glutes, engage the core to lift. that leg. Okay, so the sequence will be hook, hook, jab, jab, knee, lift. Oh, really went then. All right. Now, when you do it again, you're going to hook, hook, jab, jab, lift the knee of the other leg, and then lift the other, lift the knee and lift the leg the other way around. Right. So try and alternate which legs you're using. If you can't, and you just can't remember, don't worry. As long as you're doing the routine, you're going to be working. But just try and even out the legs if you can. All right? So, I'll do it slow to start, and then we'll get a bit quicker once you get the pattern. So, you've got hook, hook, jab, jab, knee, lift. Awesome. Hook, hook, jab, jab, knee, lift. Nice. Again, hook, hook, jab, jab, knee, lift. Lovely. Hook, hook, jab, jab, knee, lift. If you want to go faster, do. And we've got jab, jab, knee, lift. Again, hook, hook, jab, jab, knee, lift. Two more. Hook, hook, jab, jab, knee, lift. Last one. Hook, hook, jab, jab, knee, big lift. That's just me making noises. That's fine. Right, from here, we're going to just take things down just a little bit, and this is what we're going to do our walking. So the first thing I want you to do is, I believe we did this in our Thursday class last week, it's our tiptoes and our heel walks. So if you haven't done this one before, you can get in it. If you have done this, you can get going. We're going to do tiptoes, you're going to go back on your heels, tiptoes, and then heels. So 4 times. If you haven't done this before, you're going to come up onto your tiptoes, and you're going to walk one foot in front of the other. Make it harder by closing the space between the feet. Make it easier, you can have a bigger gap between the feet, okay? So you're going to do one way on your tiptoes. You're then going to turn, you're going to go back on your heels. So you need to push the hips back, and then you can then walk on your heels. Okay, so tiptoes one way, heels the other way. All right, I'm going to join in with you guys. Off you go, everybody, for me. So tiptoes and then heels. Think about posture. So if you're looking directly down, you're going to start to hunch the shoulders. You need to lift that chin, encourage the shoulders to drop down the back. Looking forward if you can. Perfect. Do one more of each for me. So I'm going to do my last tiptoes, really thinking about the posture. Remember, if this is too easy, you need to count backwards in 2s in your head. By putting another task to what you are doing, you make it harder. Lovely. Oh, I'm wobbling. I'm not in a straight line. When you've done that one, just come back into the screen so I know you are ready. Lovely. So with that last little thing I said, so if you have an easy task, so no matter what you're doing, it could just be walking, making a cup of tea, it could be anything. If you add something else into that, it's going to be harder, okay? Because you're asking the brain to do 2 things that are different. And with your Parkinson's, that's where those kind of pathways are attacked, okay? So anything that you find is a bit easy, I normally go for, I count from 20, count backwards in 2s. That's a really good one. Or in your head, think about what you need on your shopping list. That's also quite a good one to do. So anything that's easy, put another task to it, and you'll make it harder. So this next one, all depends on how comfortable you feel crossing leg over the other leg. Okay, so if you've had any problems with your hips before, or if any of you have had a hip replacement, I would advise you not to cross your hips, but instead you're going to step together, okay? So if you've got problems with hips or hip replacements, that's your alternative. If you haven't, you're going to step, cross in front, step, cross behind. Okay, so you're going to do it one way around the room, and then you're going to come back and do it the other way. That's your easy version. To make it harder, you're going to come up onto your tiptoes, and you do the same thing. Step, cross in front, step, cross behind. So you can do it tiptoes or flat on your feet. If you have those hip problems, then you come onto your tiptoes and you can do step together, and do the same thing. All right? So I'm going to leave it up to you. Choose your kind of option, and then off you go. Now remember, take it as slowly as you need to. Reduce the gap between the feet to make it harder. Get up onto those tiptoes to make it harder. Think about your posture. Are you looking down? If you are, get that chin up slightly. Lovely. Keep going. We'll do 2 more for me. And change direction. Keep it going. Again, if it's too easy, in that task. I've got a constant task of someone having a party inside of me. That's hard to concentrate on. Perfect. All right, once you've done that one, just come back into the screen. So I know you're all good. Lovely. I'm having a quick drink, excuse me. Right, this next one, I would like you to grab a chair. So I'll give you a couple of seconds to grab it. Ready? So I'm going to take the side so you can see. So this is where we're going to do our chair lifts. So, watching in the background. So I'm going to give a couple of different options that I haven't done before. So your easy version for this is you're going to sit in your chair. You can sit with your hips right into the back of the chair, but what I don't want is you to slouch, okay, because you're not active. All right, so we're going to be sitting up. Everybody, you need to engage your core. So by doing that, you need to think about your belly button, suck it into the spine, all right, and keep it there. And that's really, really going to engage your core. I think Sam's listening to a good song because he's dancing. So, if you hear him singing, I do apologise because it's the worst. So, suck in that belly button, keep that core nice and strong. So your easy version here, you're not going to lift up the chair. All you're going to do is you're going to have your hands on it, so if you can hook underneath or on the side, you're going to push into a mini squat, and then you're going to come back down. Nice and easy. Pushing and coming down. And it's the head that's leading that movement, okay? It's not from the hips, so you're not kind of pushing up like this. You're not doing that. It's from the head. You push and you come back down, okay? And with that momentum, you will then be able to stand and then come back down. Okay, so use that momentum. So that's your easy version. Your kind of middle version is you're going to push and you're going to hook under, lift the chair up slightly, pop it down and sit back down. Okay, so you're going to come up, slight lift, down, there. All right, so that's kind of like the top version if you like. If you don't want to lift up your chair, but would still like the kind of weight, grab some weights or some tins or whatever. As you come up, you lift the hands up, down, and then you can sit. Okay, so that will still kind of work the arms if you're going to have some weights. The other version that you can do if you like, you can have your, make sure you can see. You can have your chair, so if you're going to go into a squat stance, here, lift it up down. And that's your hard version. So you come down into a squat, you're going to hold into that chair, you're going to straighten, and then you go down into that squat to pop that chair down and up. Now this one will definitely work that lower back. So if you have any niggles of the lower back, I'd recommend you stick doing this version here where you lift it up slightly, okay? The standing up version is for those that have that strength to lift up, because that chair is kind of coming up to your kind of tummy, and then you can go back down, all right? By all means, this version, you can just come up sort of halfway and then put it down. So it's completely up to you which version you're going to do, all right? So again, remember, this version is the hardest. It's going to work the thighs, it's going to work the lower back. And obviously you're lifting that chair up higher, all right? So, I'm going to give you a couple of seconds and figure out which one you want to do. By all means, if you want to try the hard version and then come and do the easier version, then you can, it's not a problem. We're going to do, I can't remember how many we did last time. Let's do 8. Okay, so we're going to do 8. I'm not going to count them because you're all going to be doing different ones. And we're all going to be finishing at slightly different times depending which version you pick. All right? So, decide which ones. We're going to go. I'm going to start by doing the hard version, and then I'll come back down and do the easier version. Okay, 3, 2, 1, off you go. So you take your time, nice and controlled. Well, I've just done my first one. Lovely. Nice. Remember those squats, stick those hips back. Keep going. Nice. Everyone looks really good. So I'm going to do my last one, doing the hard version. And I'm going to come back down and I'm going to do the medium version with you. Just in case you want to see this one as well. Awesome. Really good. Okay, last one. Nice. Lovely. Okay, no rush. If you are still going, keep going. Make sure you do your 8. If you have finished, let's take this time to have a drink, have a little bit of a breather, and we're going to go into more of our sort of strengthening and conditioning of the Pilates. So if you're still going, take your time. I'll still let you have a drink. Complete. Okay, just have a little drink. I didn't think it'd be that hard today, but that sun's coming in. I'm getting hot. Those of you that did that hard version, was it okay?
It's a lot. Yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Okay.
Amazing things you can do. No one needs any equipment. You've got it all already. Lovely. Okay, so I think, let me just make sure everyone's back at the screen. Awesome. Okay, so what we'll do now, excuse me, we'll go into more of our sort of Pilates stuff that we've been doing. So you might need your chair if you feel uncomfortable balancing on one leg. Okay, so if that's something that you're slightly nervous to do or slightly uncomfortable, just keep the chair nearby and I'll tell you when that's coming so you can get it, alright? And of course you can do it sitting, so again you don't have to do it standing. The first thing I want you to do, I think I was going to sneeze but it's not going. The first thing I want you to do is we're going to bring those hands into our prayer position. So if you come to yoga, we're going to, similar to what we do, the hands are in front of the chest. Push those palms together because you're going to activate those elbows. So if you weren't activating, they'll be dropped here. By pushing the palms together, the elbows stay up. Nice. So if I was to come around to your house, I shouldn't be able to pull your hands away because you're nice, pushing them in. You're going to start here by doing our torso twist. So your the hips are going to stay forward, and you're just going to twist the torso, look over the shoulder, and you come to center, and then you change going the other way. So it's not the hips that are moving, it is the torso only. Remember, if you have those back wiggles or just feel a little bit uncomfortable in the lower back, then don't go round as far. All right, remember, you do this to however you feel comfortable and to your limit. Really keep the hips forward. Lovely. Do one more each side for me. And then you're going to come back to centre. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see this one. You're going to take one arm back and it's going to push. Other hand goes above your head and reaches back. So this hand's really pushing back, and you're going to feel that stretch in the back. And then you're going to change. Arms are going to go the other way. So again, you're pushing back, lower arm back, palms facing up, and the hand above your head is just reaching above the head. And again, change. Nice. So on your in-breath, I want you to start to change. As you go into the stretch, big breath out for me. In-breath to change, and use your out-breath for the stretch. So we're going to be going at different times because everyone breathes a little bit differently. Again, there's no right, there's no wrong. As long as you're not holding your breath, then that's wrong. You'll keel over on me if you're holding your breath. Nice. Lovely. Lovely and graceful. Two more for me. Make this one your last one. And then pop the arms down to the side. And we're going to go into our squat. So if you need to have a chair just to hold on as you squat down, then please do. If you don't need it, great. So your squat, remember, you push the hips back, you bend the knees go over toes, your chest is up, and then we come back to our neutral stance. So we're going to stand up. So you go down, and then you come back up. Lovely. Go as low as you can. If you're on the chair, you're going to be doing those reverse squats where you push up and then you sit back down. When we're squatting, I want you to add the arms. Arms up and down by the side as you stand. So when you go down into the squat, they come up, and as you stand, they go to the side. Nice. Lovely. Really remember to push those hips back. Looking good. Really, really nice. Okay, one more. And then come to standing for me. I'm going to change it slightly. So how this is your little rest. So when you're going to go down into a squat, still the same thing. You're going to go down. As you come up, I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. As you come up, the hand's going to go down. They're going to go past your centre line, if you like. And you're going to come up onto tiptoes. So by having the arms go further back, you're helping with your balance. Okay, so because if you keep your hands here, you can be a bit wobbly, but if you balance yourself out, it's going to help. So you're going to go down into that squat as you come up onto your tiptoes. Nice. Squat and then up onto your tiptoes. Lovely. So think about your technique. Knees over toes, hips pushed back. When you're on those tiptoes, don't roll those ankles, all right? Some people, I don't know if you can see, some people tend to do this. Keep those ankles nice and strong. If you're finding your ankles are starting to roll when you're on tiptoes, Don't go up as high. Lovely. We're going to do 2 more. And then I want everybody to stay on their tiptoes. Last one. If you need to grab a chair to help you on your tiptoes, do. Everybody, I do, my balance is awful. Everybody stay on your tiptoes. Nice. Hands on hips, hands out to the side, whatever you need to keep your balance on your tiptoes, you do. Some people like to hold their nose, pinch their earlobes, whatever you feel works for you. Awesome. Now, hands out to the side for me. We're going to touch our nose and open. Touch your nose and open. If you're holding onto a chair, then just use one arm. It's not a problem. Nice. So again, we're adding another task onto this tiptoe hold. Change, I want you to hold the head for me. So touch the head and open. Head, open, head, open. Last one, lower down. Just walk through the heels. If the calves are on fire, this will just release tension in those calves, all right? Because that will fire up that muscle. A really good one as well for that, I won't demo it now because I'll have to take you on a tour of the house, but if those calves do get a bit tight and a bit fiery, if you, so imagine I'm on my bottom step, so if you step up onto your bottom step and hang your heels off the step, all right, so my toes will be on the step, hang your heels off and then bounce, so hold onto your banister or wall or whatever, and bounce, that will release the muscles. So it's a really good one. When you're walking up the stairs, just have a moment of kind of hanging the heels off, letting it bounce, and it will stretch out the foot and the calves. So again, if you've got kind of sore arches in the foot, it's a really good one for that. Oh, I'm giving you loads of tips today. We're going to go into our hip routine. So we are definitely going to be balancing on one leg. So if you need to grab your chair, do it now. What I'm going to do is I'll show you one leg standing, all right? Then I'll show you the alternative sitting down the chair, just in case. I'm not sure if any of you are actually. Just in case you're sitting on a chair, or if anyone watches this recording that's sitting on a chair. So, I believe most of us have done this. I think maybe a couple new people haven't, so we'll go. I'll break it all down, so don't worry. But your first thing you're going to do for me is you're going to lift up one leg. Keep it at 90 degrees if you can. If you can't lower it, it's not a problem. And I want you to point and flex the foot. Okay, so we're working that ankle, flexing and pointing. If it becomes too sore in the hip, you drop the hip, all right, and you lower that leg. Lovely. This is what we're baby weight up, so bear with me. Perfect. Now change. I want to roll the ankle round. So nice rotation in the ankle if you can. If you can't, you stay doing point and flex. And then change direction for me, go the other way. Nice. Perfect. Pop that foot down. Change sides. So stay standing if you're doing this all standing. I'm the one that's changing just for those that are doing it on the chair. Same thing as before, point and flex the foot for me on the other leg. If you're sitting down, you can hold underneath that thigh, and that's going to really help. Sorry, it's just not. That's going to help support the leg. All right, so if you're going to hold it, point and flex. And then roll the ankle round for me. So again, if you're struggling with that rotation, you're going to stay doing the point and flex. And then change again, rotate the ankle the other way round. Perfect. Remember to breathe, don't hold that breath. Awesome. All right, I'm going to come and join you again. So the next we're going to do, changing legs. Bring that leg up 90 degrees and swing the leg forward and back from the knee. So if I turn to the side, it is just the knee that's working. My hip is still, my thighs are still, torso is still. It is the knee that's going forward and back. All right, we're building up that muscle and the tissue around the knee. Again, to make this harder, if you have any ankle weights at home, you can put those on. So if you can put something on your ankle that's going to give a weight, that's going to really help to build up this strengthening exercise. Lovely. Really nice. And pop that leg down. We're going to change legs, so I'll show you on the chair for those that need it. From here, lift at that foot, and again, from the knee, let it swing forward and back. Torso is still, thighs are still, engaging that core. Just the knee that's swinging forward and back. Again, if you're on the chair, you need to help keep that leg up and just hold under the thigh. Nice, very good. And pop that leg down. We're going to change. Oh, we're going to change it again. Now this time, this is our opening the gates. We did this in the warm-up a little bit, but we're going to lift that knee and we're going to circle the hips round. Right, so it's a nice circle in the hip. The higher you can lift up that knee, the harder it's going to be. Keep the circle nice and small, and that's going to make it easier. All right, so again, choose your limit, choose your height, reverse that rotation now for me. Again, thinking about how high you're bringing that knee up. Try not to put the foot on the floor, it kind of hovers on the floor. Lovely, remember to breathe, don't hold your breath. The amount of people that do when their exercise is crazy. And pop the leg down. If the hip's a little bit sore, remember my trick, walk through the heels and you'll release that tension from the hip. Other leg for me, so stay standing, I'm going to demonstrate it on the chair. You're going to lift up that knee and let's go. Rotation for me. So it doesn't matter which way you start because we're going to rotate both ways. Lovely. Really nice. So again, remember your options. Knee high is going to make it hard. Lower the knee, it's going to make it easier. Nice. Change direction for me. Go the other way. Lovely. And pop the leg down. Last time then, the last thing we're going to do is we're going to bring up the knee 90 degrees if you can. Keep it low to make it easy. And you're going to open and close. Open and close. So when you're closing, the knee slightly crosses the other side of the body. That's if you're standing. If you're sitting, it won't cross because it won't let you because the other leg's in the way. All right, so just bear that in mind if you're sitting, but opening and closing. Keep going. Perfect. And last one, change legs for me. So I'll demonstrate this sitting in case you're sitting. So again, change your legs, lift it up for me, open and close. So again, those of you that are standing, you'll be able to just slightly cross that knee over the other side. We're sitting, we can't. Again, if you've had kind of a knee replacement, the hip replacements or hips are a bit niggly, try not to cross too much because that can kind of irritate the hip joint if you cross it, if you over cross it to the other side. Lovely, really nice. And then pop the leg down. So again, if you've got that tension in the hips, Just walk it through, release the tension. And you'll be pleased to know we're coming to our cool down. So if you need to grab a drink after that, please do. If you need to have a couple of seconds, do. If not, we're going to go straight into some stretching to really cool you down. So the first thing I want you to do is, if you need your chair, hold on to it if you need to. One leg in front of the other for me. Make sure your toes are pointing in the same direction and have a slight bend in the front leg. The back leg is straight for me and the heel is on the floor. So you should feel that stretch going down that straight leg, bending in the front knee. If you can, you're going to interlock the fingers and you're going to push the fingers away from you so the arms are nice and straight. If you've got your balance, if you haven't, don't put the arms in. And then drop the chin to the chest for me. Nice. Enjoy the stretch. Some deep breaths here. And then release the hands. Change legs for me. So the other leg is in front. Again, toes same direction. Bend in that front leg. Back leg nice and straight. The heel stays down the floor. This time the arms are going to go behind and you're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together, open up the chest. If you can, slightly tilt the chin up to the ceiling. Just encourage that chest to open. But again, be careful of your balance, please. And then drop the chin back down to neutral, release the hands. This is where you might want the chair because you're going to try and grab the ankle or you're going to bring it in for a nice stretch. So if I turn to the side, you see it there. This is where if you've got baggy trousers on, you can hook, I haven't got baggy trousers, but you can hook the fingers into the trousers and you can use that to pull you up. Or if you've got like an old scarf, loop that round and then hold that to pull the leg up. So if you can't quite reach, get a scarf or something and you can use that to kind of have a pull up on the foot. Lovely. And then change legs for me. So the other side. Again, remember to breathe. Have a slight bend in that supporting leg. Remember, don't lock that knee. Keep it nice and soft. Nice. Leg. Onto our chair for me, everybody. So, let me turn to the side actually, and you can see it a bit better. So, onto the chair. Have the legs out in front of you. And they're going to be flat on the floor. A slight bend in the knee, which is absolutely fine. You're all going to do better than me on this one because you haven't got a bump in the way. Hands onto the thighs, and you're going to slowly go down the legs. Use your torso to lean over. And you're going to try and get as low as you can. That is as low as I can go. But you can all get lower than me for a change. Lovely. And then nice and slowly come up, making sure the head's the last thing after you've just been dangling upside down. And then heels go onto the floor, so you're reversing this stretch now. Same thing, hands on the thighs, take them down. You're going to try and get to the toes if you can. I can't. Lovely. So again, as far as you can, really stretching out the legs. And again, nice and slow through that spine. Head's the last thing. Awesome. And turn to face you all. There we go, you can all see me. Right, let's do our arms. So, one arm across the body for me and pull it in. So remember, we do this stretch week in, week out, but just to recap, Do not hold the wrist and do not hold the elbow. It's that forearm you want to hold. Protect those joints. Lovely. And then change. You're going to go the other side. So reach across and pull it in. Remember to avoid those joints. Sitting up tall if you can. Maintaining your breathing. So much to think about. Lovely. Let's reverse the stretch. So this time we're going to go up onto the back of the shoulder for me. Hands onto the elbow and you're going to pull it back. Nice. Lovely. And then back down to neutral, and you can do the same on the other side. So a big reach up for me. Hand onto that elbow, pull it back. Lovely. Remember to breathe. Nice. Release the hands down. We're going to do our hands. So I want one hand nice and flat. I'll turn this so I can show you. Hand nice and flat. The other hand onto the fingers. And you're going to push down. All right, so you're stretching out the wrist and stretching out the fingers. So I'm not on the bit where my fingers join my palm, just below. So I can really flex out those fingers and wrists. And then change to the other side for me. So again, hand nice and flat, other hand onto the fingers and push down. I can't get comfy in my chair. There we go. Lovely. Really nice. One more each side for me. So the other hand, nice and flat, hand onto the fingers, pushing down. You might have one that's more flexible than the other, and that's normal, that's fine. Awesome. And last time, change, other hand onto those fingers and push down. Lovely. And let's finish with our head. So you're going to look one side for me. You're going to bring that head to center and you're going to change to look the other side. And again, change. Make sure you come to center first and then change sides. And then one more time. Bring that head to center and change sides. Now this time we're going to bring that head to center and you're going to send that chin and the eyes up to the ceiling. Really reach back if you can. And then coming through center, looking down for me. So chin to chest, eyes down, and then reverse. Head comes to center and all the way up. Try not to hunch those shoulders, keep them nice and relaxed. And again, last time, head to center, looking down, and then finish on two big head circles and get that head all the way around if you can. If you can't, just do some semicircles, taking chin to one shoulder and then take the chin to the other shoulder. But nice and slow with those head rolls. And then once you've done two in one direction, you're going to reverse and you're going to take the head the other way. Do two the other way for me. Again, nice and slow. No rush. And then once you've done those two, making sure that head comes back to centre. Move the chair so I can see you all a bit better. Perfect. And that's another Monday done, which is a bit bonkers, really. So let me just check.